Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to our channel. Here in this video, I'm going to discuss one of interview experience as a DevSecOps engineer with one of the product-based company, SONY. And here I'm going to discuss the questions they have asked and how I have answered them. And before moving into the video, I wanted to discuss one key thing, many of the people are asking through the comments as well, regarding how can you get a calls or something, and how we need to answerable, and how like the profile optimization, all those things pointers are coming into that picture. But in this particular video, before the starting of this video, I wanted to share this particular shortlisting profile journey. Why? Because this is going to be helpful for many people, and like this is also a way of working out or getting shortlisted your profile. Okay. The thing was, I got a call from one of the third party. Like, it is not a direct call from the SONY company, as many of the companies they have a dedicated recruiter partners, and they will hire through them. And I mean, the third partner will hire, and but they are the permanent employee to the SONY. And there are some cases like third party hires and they are their employees, and they will work as a contractor to the SONY company, like that. But the opportunity the call what I got was, it is a direct permanent role to the SONY company only. And the recruiter company, the HR called me actually, and he asked about my current situation, all those things, like basic details they will inquiry. First thing was the notice period and where you were, and which office are you preferable, and like your experience and your current salary CTC, and your expected CTC, and your key skills. Okay, these are the some key requirements. Based upon these details only, they will proceed further, or they may reject here only. These are the some as I said, some key details where your profile is going to further or not. And one more thing, let's say if in this particular stage, if you got a red signal or a red flag, let's say we are looking for something immediate something immediate candidates, or else we are looking something in-depth knowledge on this. You mentioned you just have some kind of understanding on that, like that they will initially only raise some red flags, so that we can expect some kind of not going to move further, like that. Okay, initially I mean, this the selection process was shortlisting process was very interesting. The HR called, as I said, and she asked the basic details. After that, what she said was, I mean, after a 1 or 2 days, she again called, and initially what she said was, she just collected the basic details. Based upon that, she moved my resume profile to the further like a technical team, and I think they shortlisted that. And I'm not sure, I think they shortlisted some basic details. Maybe they found it might be helpful for them, or some what we can say, immediate joining availability, or whatever might be the case. Something they found some useful case. Okay, and what they did was, she called me again after 1 or 2 days, and she said, like, I have shared a GD, like a job description of the SONY company, and this is the things what they are expecting. And in that only they mentioned clearly listen this, they mentioned a full job description. In that includes a like requirements, like what expecting, like what skills they are expecting, and what will be the day-to-day activities, and one more thing, what will be the expected interview questions. Okay, and one more thing, the key words. Okay, this is the the information which got to the third party recruiter from the SONY company directly. And that particular email, the person who reached out to me, she just copy pasted everything and sent an email to me. Okay, based upon that, I get to know, like, this is their requirements. And what I mean, in that call, after the first call, in second call, after 1 or 2 days I said no. In that call, what she said was, she said, like, in your profile I see there is no keywords which is related to SAST DAST keyword. Okay, that particular keyword, like in real, it was missing in my resume. And she asked me to update into the resume, and send me the resume as soon as possible by e-wording. Okay, but unfortunately I attended the call, and I said, okay, I will do on that. And I set a expectation, like, it will take some time. Why? Because I'm in the office, and I don't have my personal laptop or something. I will try to do in the mobile, and send, like that I said. And after some half an hour or 1 hour, I received some follow-up call, like, I don't see your reply, can you send it as soon as possible, like that she said it. At the time I was in some other task in the office, but I was not able to do that. And I said, like, okay, I will do evening, is it possible, like that, like after once my office done, after 6 o'clock, I mean around 6 o'clock, I will send sharply, like that I said. Then she said, like, okay, I am expecting by 4 o'clock, like that. The time was around 3:30, like that. But there is no possibility, like, I'm into another thing. And then she said, like, okay, she asked, like, is it okay to edit the profile from my end and forward it to the next process, like that she asked. And she asked a confirmation, and are you sure, like that she asked. Okay, I said, okay, just to do one thing, just in the skills session, you can add SAST and DAST and SEA, some security categories, I said. And she added that. And in the current organization tool, I mean, what we can say, working technologies and security categories, she added those also. Okay, and this is where my profile gets further. And after a day. I think after almost 1.5 day like that, I received a same call from the same HR stating that they asked, I mean, the technical team have shortlisted the resume and moving your profile to the further discussion, further technical discussion. That is round one of technical discussion. And remember, there is a further round also, and they set a expectation like you may need to come to the office like before scheduling the interview itself. They set up this expectation. If the profile got shortlisted, I mean, if you were proceed for the further round after the first round, you may come to the office. Okay, and she like took a confirmation, and for her safer side, to the written email communication also, confirmation also she took. And yeah, and this is how this happened. And as of now, the interview one got scheduled and it was completed, and I had a incredible what we can say experience. And to be frank, like as a DevSecOps attending for a one of the product-based company top, it is very like exciting as well as some kind of fear. Okay, and okay, I will share definitely like what are the questions they are asked. And yeah, this is the some key point I wanted to share, like how the things will work to get the recruiters calls and shortlisting things, all those things. And one more thing, there is I mean, furthermore steps also we can do. I just shared only my story, and it may not going to work for everyone. What I can say was just to answer the recruiters properly in the initial stages itself, and make sure to maintain a good resume, and like keep the things like answers in the handy whenever they ask or call. Answer them properly. And if you are in the stage of not able to answer the call, try to like drop a message or email to them stating your situation, and try to reach out to them as soon as possible. Why? Because there is a high chances of getting your profile be on hold for some time. After like 1 or 2 days or something, they obviously move to the different pages, and they might schedule the interview or further process for further candidate. Okay, this is how the things works. And going further, the interview experience, as usual, they asked the kind of good introduction, and I gave my little quick good introduction. And the first thing was, let's say if you are using Docker image in your like DevOps or DevSecOps methodology, especially DevSecOps methodology, then how can you make sure the vulnerabilities in the Docker image by using Trivy? How can you find like that? He asked me a question. Yeah, I have worked on the Trivy. There is a dedicated tool which finds the vulnerability by scanning Docker image and the container. Docker containers and Kubernetes as well. And I explained like there is a command where we can use where we can set up first Trivy and a Trivy, and we need to pass this command like a Trivy image and the image name. Then it will find the vulnerabilities and gives the output. And if you want the output, we can specify that as well in the command itself. Then the further question was, what is the difference between SAST and DAST? It is a kind of a basic question, as well as the how explanation. Based upon that, I think they asked this. STAT is basically a static application security testing, and DAST is basically a dynamic application security testing. In SAST, where let's say if there is a testing phase in the pipeline, in SAST process, what it does was the source code it will test. And finds the vulnerabilities and some SQL injections or some authentication issues, and that will detect in the source code itself in SAST. But in DAST, what it happens whenever the application is up and running, then it will check the same like for vulnerabilities and some SQL injections. And there are a wide variety of tools also for performing SAST as well as the DAST. The SAST popular tools was we can say SonarQube, Snake, Trivy also performs, 45 performs, and DAST was 45 also performs, and checkmarks is there, OWASP, ZAP, Z attack proxy, and Brubsuit is there. I explained those and how it works actually also. And how do you, the further follow-up question was, let's say if you are using AWS as a cloud platform, how do you make sure the AWS credentials in the CI/CD pipeline is secured? I explained like we can use IAM roles instead of hard coding the credentials. And there is a one dedicated service called AWS Secret Manager, where we can store our secrets into that to store instead of hard coding. And we can set up the environmental variables. That is also one good practice. And we can encrypt. There is a third-party tools as well as I think in AWS also there is a dedicated service, but I'm exactly not remembered the name. But there is a one service KSM or KMS something. I need to check on that. And the further follow-up question was, what is the best practices for securing Kubernetes workloads? I majorly focused on role-based access control (RBAC), where we can give a like a list privilege as a best policy, and based on their roles, we can use dedicated access to control the resources, everything. And yeah, networks also we can define the network policies also for to securing the Kubernetes workloads. It is also one of the best policy, and by maintaining secret manager like HashiCorp Vault we can maintain, or AWS secret manager we can use, and like restricting root access is also one of the best practice, I believe. And the further follow-up question was, how do you secure Terraform state files? Generally, we can store these particular state files into a S3 to secure, to store it like as a preserve thing, and we can define the IAM policies to restrict the access to the state files for different IAM users or something. And there is some pointers explained regarding that, and explain the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities and how do you mitigate them. Majorly, the OWASP top 10 is I have majorly focused on some pointers. I haven't listed down the top 10, and I majorly focused on how can we mitigate them and in which categories it will be find out like that. And the OWASP checks was SQL injection, some authentication and authorization, and as security misconfigurations. And these are the some 3 to 4 or 5 pointers I have majorly focused. And I regarding the mitigation, I pointed out one pointer for each. Let's say if it is a misconfiguration, we can automate the security misconfigurations by tools, and we can detect the secrets by using some tools, and we can find SQL injections and authorization issues in the SAST and DAST categories also like that. And how do you automate security scanning in CI/CD pipeline? As I said, there is a different categories in the DevSecOps tools like SAST, DAST, container image scanning, secret scanning, IAC, infrastructure as a code scanning, and SEA, source code analysis, and CSPM, cloud security posture management, ASPM, application security posture management. All this comes under this particular thing, and I explained. I majorly worked on some specific tools in each categories, and I have a exposure for different what we can say hands-on on different tools also, okay, in each category. By the way, I forgot to tell, this particular interview is about through 3 years, okay, exactly around 3 years of experience as a DevSecOps engineer. Okay, coming to the further follow-up question. What are cryptographic hashing algorithms and their use cases? To be frank, that particular cryptographic, I'm not sure, but I have an idea, and have used one what we can say hash value generation, where we can generate the hash value by using shell script, as well as some Windows command also there, where we can use a 250 SHA 256, where I think that is the one of the hash what we can say hash configuration or hash logic we can say. Hashing, generally the hashing was let's say if you found one output by using what we can say example, if you use SONY cube in your CI/CD pipeline, you got one output. Okay, next time you scanned the same code and you got another output which is having some minute difference. Okay, now you are going to give check the if you check the hash value for first file output and second output, then obviously there is some new hash value is generated. Okay, obviously the hash value the hash value was like something different. If the two things are different, then the hash values are different. If two things are the same, then hash value are same. To compare the output or results, and to approve further processes, especially in that cases, these hash values are used. And how do you prevent secrets from being exposed in Git repositories? And one more thing, I wanted to set one expectation before going further. This particular discussion went so long, like around what we can say, I think around 50 minutes or something, and I got an different cross questions and different questions asked in each category, and you may also expect a somewhat length of this particular video. Okay, moving further, how do you prevent secrets from being stored in your Git repositories? Actually, as being a DevSecOps engineer, there is one checklist, Git Git secure repo checklist, where we are going to enable the checklist into while integrating the Git into the CI/CD pipeline itself. Okay, and if you are as a DevSecOps engineer, if they are using Jenkins, there is a Jenkins checklist, secure checklist also comes along with that. Okay. Comes along with that means some best practices checklist in the sense. If it is DevOps, then they are not going to much focus on this particular checklist. Okay, and regarding that, I have explained there is a different like how, in the sense I have explained some situation, like say instead of hard coding the credentials, we can give the environment variables for hard-coded credentials like that, and we can use pre-commit hooks like that. And the further follow-up question was, what is the IAC, infrastructure as a code, and security measures should be taken. Regarding the IAC security measures, we can make sure to follow up or to maintain a version in the Git all configuration files, and we can apply a list privileges to the IAM user within the Terraform file, IAC file, and yeah, I think those are the pointers. And how do you secure APIs in a microservices architecture? There is a one thing, API gateway in AWS service, where we can use that to secure API gateways, and we can enable authentication also. Some JWT token will be there. We can enable that. That will implement a authentication for the API gateway, and we can enable. we can make sure to maintain a limited logging, like limited access on logging into that. Okay, these are the some best practices or security postures, I can say. And how do you secure a CI/CD pipeline from supply chain attacks? Regarding the pipeline security, as I said, we are going to integrate different security category tools in different stages, which comes in starts from planning stage itself, like a threat modeling tool. After that, in development stage, there is a tool called what we can say, IDE plugins will be integrated. Let's say Fortify, Trivy, Snake, SONY, something like that. And after that, testing phase, we can integrate. I'm not sure in testing phase, build phase, the security will come or not. Generally, we use Maven for Java files and Gradle for for big complex projects. Okay, and after that, for testing purpose, we use multiple checks in each like category. And after that, release and deployment, where there will be some intermediate. Not intermediate. It's kind of a seasonal SAST scanning, DAST scanning, like that. We can by implementing this. We can secure the CI/CD from some supply chain attacks. We can also maintain a particular role-based access controls. That is also one of the best practices. And the further follow-up question was, how do you monitor and analyze security logs in AWS? In AWS, there is one service called AWS Guard Duty, where it is dedicatedly used for logs purpose, security logs especially. And AWS CloudWatch also there, which is used for some monitoring purpose. And I think those are some two services I have highlighted, and there are some different services also for different security purpose, for example API purpose and ELK, Elasticsearch. And the further follow-up question was, what is the difference between AppArmor and SE Linux? To be frank, I'm blank at this particular question. I just said I don't know about this, and he just moved to the further question. I need to look on this, and if any of you know about this particular question, please let me know. I'm not sure that particular question and keywords also is correct or not. I need to look on it. And the further follow question was, what is SBOM? It is a software bill of materials, and why it is important in DevSecOps especially. I have a good understanding on SBOM, and I have worked in my current organization also. So I have explained to them what exactly that does. Was basically SBOM is a software bill of materials. It provides some. It detects vulnerabilities in the dependencies and make sure it comply with the coding standards. It will maintain that one particular thing. It will list down the all those things. Okay, this is how it works. And the further follow-up question was, how do you manage API security in Kubernetes? Earlier, there is the same question, how do you maintain security API in microservice architecture. Here they focused on Kubernetes. Let's say, especially in Kubernetes, how can you manage? I explained the same pointers, we can use API gateways, and as I said, JWT tokens we can authenticate, and what we can say, logging and accessing frequently or improper logging, that can be monitored and disabled. Some pointers I explained about that. And how do you prevent privileges escalation in Kubernetes cluster? Let's say there is one Kubernetes cluster. How do you make sure that there is a privilege should be maintained in that particular cluster? And in this particular case, we can explain about RB IAC, the same concept what I many times used during this particular interview and this particular video also, where that is one of the best policy that will be suitable for different categories and different security management thing. Okay, like role-based access control, where it will limit the access upon their roles. And there is some pointers I need to be studied about this particular question also. Need to be remembered. 17th question and 14th question. Okay. The further follow-up question was there is some what we can say compliance standards. How do you make sure security standards are followed up? Okay. As I said, some international standards, HIPAA, HIPPA, and SOC, CERTIN, NIST, GDPR. These are the some compliance of our security standards. Okay. OWASP also one of the compliance security standard. Like that, how can you make sure this compliance are followed up like that? We can I explained in terms of a CSPM. Let's say CSPM, basically CSPM is a cloud security posture management, especially in cloud. Let's say in AWS, for example, what exactly it does was it will we need to define some some policies. There is some tools for CSPM. Let's say one of the tool called custodian, cloud custodian. That exactly what that particular tool does was it will takes the policy whatever we have defined for that, and it will log into our AWS account based upon the credentials what we have given, and it will performs the task as per the policy. Let's say if in your policy you have specified like this, there is a one IAM user. There are a lot of IAM users in my AWS account. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to list down the IAM users who have like all the access, all console access, okay, AWS console access, and who have only CLI access, like that. It will go log into your AWS account based upon the policy, along with the policy, and it will perform the output. Okay, it will give you output. Let's say if you say in the further policy or further step like that, if you say whoever having a AWS console access, you can, in the actions, in the policy only, there is a kind of a section for taking the actions. In the actions, you can remove their access to the console, like that you have specified. Now what exactly CSPM does was it will apply that policy into your account, and the output, let's say if the IAM user having a console access earlier, now you log into that IAM user and refresh the screen, obviously the user cannot able to access into the console. Okay, that is how the CSPM works. I just explained here one high level basic example, and in detail there is some lot of logics and some complex things also involved. And like by using this we can achieve this particular compliance security standards. I explained about that. And as I said, we can use some tools where the tools follows these compliance standards. Okay. And what is EPSS in cybersecurity? To be frank, I am also very blank about this particular question. Like I need to also look on this 19th question also, market. He asked like EPSS, what is EPSS in cybersecurity? I am getting that question, like it is definitely regarding the security only. Into a cybersecurity, definitely it might be related to something, some security posture or some vulnerability or misconfiguration like that, but I need to look on it. And the further follow-up question was, how do you perform a security handling with Ansible especially? And they haven't, not much focused on like some kind of real-time scenario, and they majorly focused on touched all of the DevSecOps components. If you see in the video, like most of the questions are touching with the different components, and we'll see what is the further update. I will definitely share further. And coming to this, I have explained about we can follow the SSH best practices, and we can use the firewalls for configuration, for automatically configuration, and security handling in Ansible, right? I'm not sure I was answered this properly or not. I think the last two questions also blank only. Okay. Regarding the security handling in Ansible, I have answered in terms of configuration with the pipeline, but I think I haven't in the real scenario. Let's say if you wanted to achieve a security within the Ansible, I shared some general perspective on that, like by making sure following the SSH best practices while connecting into the server or something, and by following the firewall restrictions and NACLs. That is one of the best practices like that. And there is some general discussion also of it, and that's why I said it took a lot of time. And I think these are some major questions, and which I was very quiet and blank at some pointers, as I said, 4 to 5 questions, and remaining, I think, as per my experience, it was pretty good. And I also got some kind of new exposure for this kind of interview. And yeah, if I have any further update, definitely I'm going to share with you guys, and see you all in the upcoming video. and stay tuned for more updates. If you have any further questions or comments, please let me know. I think I have shared most of the information regarding what are some basic questions, like how many years of experience and some company name and a designation and all those things. Okay, if you have further something, please let me know. Don't not hesitate. And if you are preparing, or if any of your colleagues or friends are preparing, please try to share this video with them and try to watch and analyze the way, like how, let's say if you are in that particular situation, how can you handle, or else how will you answer that, like showcases your work and your, what we can say, your real-time things and all. Okay, and yeah, this is the thing I have just wanted to share with you guys. And okay.